fiance is.
I also just
amazing,
realized
by the way.
I am so
Shameless
sorry.
plug.
You were unmuted till just the second.
Oh, nice.
I'm mute too. Holy shit. All right, we're going to start over. That whole gig, that whole gag where I did the voices and everything was completely muted. Oh my goodness.
Do we
We're just going to start over. We're going to start
do
over.
it again?
Start fresh.
We do it
Ready?
again. Okay,
Ready?
we'll do it
Reset.
again.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
I forget what I was doing.
In a world of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl, Josh, and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
Okay.
Hi, guys. We did it. I think we did it.
We did it. I don't know,
All right.
man. This is why I should be in charge of these things.
Welcome back to the Tokudon Podcast.
Welcome back to the Tokudon Podcast. It probably looked like we were doing a weird silent movie because I forgot to hit unmute. But
so what we'll do it in post.
A great gag of me doing voices for Dragon Ball.
Somebody take those images and just subtitle the randomness that comes to your mind, please. Just make it work. Whatever
It's
make
absurd.
it work.
It's absurd.
Oh my god. So we were just talking about how I was arranging stuff in my office, the Funkos, and as I was setting one up, we were trying to figure out where I was going to put Vegeta. And looking at Vegeta reminded me of how I do not like Chris Sabat in terms of his inability to really, really, really voice act beyond doing his voice in a different pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, from there we kind of took off.
Yeah, it turned into a whole thing where I did the next time on the Tokudon Podcast. Stand by for Tokudon.
Stand by.
Standing by. All right, we got all the jokes back out. That's fine. Everyone heard them.
Cool. Yeah. Now we got them.
Yeah,
I think we nailed them even better this time.
Bullshitting like we normally do before we start. And I was like, oh, we'll save it for the stream, but then I realized everyone was on mute, and we explained the whole thing.
Hi.
So
Here
hello again.
So yeah. But more to what I was trying to go at is I did recently, like I said, heard the Ocean dub from our childhood redo some of the newer stuff, and it really either it takes me out of time and place where I'm still like mentally, I forget how I'm like 48 back when that came out, and it's like I dig it.
Zeros, but yeah,
like I dig it, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work because I'm so used to this guy, even though I hate it.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, the Ocean dubs actually came out before Toonami and Funimation started dubbing it. If anyone's seen the original clip of the Over 9,000, that's the Ocean dub.
Yes.
Yeah. And
that's the one where Goku sounds like he's really having a good time.
It's the one where Goku sounds like he's the DBZ abridged Goku. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's the closest. It's actually closest.
Sean Chamel's a very cool dude. I met Sean Chamel once. He's fantastic. Super cool guy. I love the voice of Goku. The Ocean dubs were like, that's what most of us got introduced if you watched it from like vanilla Dragon Ball. And then I was talking about they redid a lot of the dubbing for Kai, and it just doesn't hit the same. Like the example I was going to tell you about was, I don't know if you remember the like speech that Goku gives Frieza right after he turns Super Saiyan. He says like, I'm the one who fights for those who can't. I'm the protector of the universe. I'm this, that, and the other.
Okay.
It's this super badass. I don't remember the monologue exactly. It's super badass. And I remember being like renting the VHS from fucking Hollywood Video of all places. And being
okay.
Right? How's that for a name drop? And being like, holy shit, this is amazing. Oh my God, Goku's so cool. And like, then I heard the Kai, and Kai, the whole point was they switched up, they edited down all the stuff, and
so it's like a hypercut.
Yeah, they condensed 30 episodes of the Frieza fight into like 10 or something like that.
So they actually made the fight 5 minutes?
They made the fight, a real 5 minutes. That kind of thing. So it's kind of like it's DBZ abridged, but like the legit version sort of thing.
Okay, gotcha.
And so how when they redid the dub, it just didn't hit the same. Like, let me see if I can find the actual monologues. That monologue's pretty goddamn cool. And like Goku's kind of whatever, but that was one of the moments where I was like, "Oh yes!"
When you said that speech, it's sad because the TFS speech came to my head. I am the amoeba and the omega, or whatever.
Yeah, like that's kind of what it was from.
Like I get that. I assume that's what it was from, but I do not remember the original speech. All I remember is the Team 4-Star speech. Like that's just they just nailed it, man.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
I have the monologue. I am the hope of the universe.
Do it in the closest.
I can't hit that level.
You can.
I can't.
Or do it in the closest Chris Sabat.
I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all. All right, that's more like
that's
imperfect.
Perfect. That's like Frieza.
Imperfect Cell.
That's like if Cell got chopped in the throat.
Yeah, that's imperfect Cell. I can do like imperfect Cell. I'm really good at Cell.
Perfect.
That's all I got.
Dude, perfectly nailed the imperfect Cell.
Perfectly nailed the. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am the protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am the truth. Ally to good. Nightmare to you.
That's great.
That was my imperfect Cell. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you. Bravo. I may or may not practice in the car on the way home from work. It's fine.
Hey, man, I get it. I do the same.
Hello, Goku.
Hello, Goku.
Hello, Goku.
Oh, hi.
And then the Kai,
no.
like, I mean, I know I did it in a stupid voice, but that speech is kind of badass. And then Kai changed it up, and I think they tried to be way closer to the Japanese, because this actually has, this Reddit post has all three versions that I'm looking at. So the Japanese is, as you are surely aware, I am the Saiyan who came to Earth to defeat you. Despite my calm, quiet heart, I am the legendary warrior awakened by intense anger. I am Super Saiyan Goku. That was pretty badass, actually.
Okay, that's not bad.
So the Kai version, this is kind of where, like, it's not as good as the Japanese, and like the Funimation redo was kind of cooler because he was like, I'm Superman now. I'm here to whoop some ass and take some names, because Frieza's, space tyrant Nazi man.
Okay.
You haven't figured it out yet. I'm the Saiyan who came all the way from Earth for the sole purpose of beating you. I am the warrior you've heard of in legends, pure of heart and awakened by fury. That's what I am. I'm the Super Saiyan, Son Goku.
I hate it.
Doesn't hit the same. Doesn't hit the same. Like, the Japanese one was kind of like, okay, you done fucked up, right? Like, that's kind of the energy it brought. And then the Funimation one was like, yes, I am the hero of this story. I'm gonna slap you around a little bit. And then the Kai one is kind of like that weird in between where it just doesn't hit right.
Yeah.
So
it drops the intensity for wordy. Like, why?
Yeah, I think they were trying to match the mouth flaps kind of thing. They probably cut the mouth flaps a little differently.
Hey, that's the struggle of dub.
Yeah, that's the struggle of dubs. So yeah, that was always the one, when it comes to differences and things like that. That was always the thing that kind of hurt me. I never really watched Kai just because they cut so much of it out. And yeah, I don't know. Like, OG Dragon Ball is where it's at, when they actually were throwing hands and not just big beams of energy.
I mean, everything up to after the Raccoon fight, up to the original cutoff. I forget what is it when Goku arrives and is about to fight Ginyu, the Ginyu Force. Mm-hmm. That's when the original Ocean dub stops, if I remember. Okay. And then, I mean, I'm this is going back, dude. Like, I'm remembering.
We're talking like 25 years at this point.
Yeah, like I'm remembering watching the seasons repeat over and over again. Mm-hmm. And then the one time where we're just watching Dragon Ball because it was religious. Yeah. And then boom, it was
you gotta watch it. It was Gundam Wing and then Dragon Ball.
Yeah. We knew the episode before the reset. Sorry, because it had done it already a few times. So it was, I think I'm starting to remember specifically, it's the episode that Goku finally arrives in the spaceship on Namek.
Okay.
And then that episode actually played, and me and Alex were like, what? Like, what? But the voices were different, and we were like, what? Like, it was like, it blew us away on multiple levels. And yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, that's when the original Vegeta voice is like very close to Brian Drummond's, but as it progressed, obviously Chris Sabat just abandoned trying and just does his own voice for everybody now. So. And we just accept it because it's all we got. And I hate it so much.
You mad, bro?
I hate it. I am big mad. Like,
big mad.
Like you could, all right, I might not be able to do a lot of voices because I can't. I can do funny accents better than I can do any
I can do character voices. I can do characters.
Right.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Like that's the funness. But in terms of bringing that to a character, I'm sure anybody would be able to do that for Piccolo. So you could do Vegeta since that's your favorite, or is Piccolo's favorite. I don't even care. My point is that, dude, hire somebody else.
Someone has to love Vegeta. We were talking about the other day, actually, speaking of Dragon Ball, we were talking the other day about the 19 fight, because there's a Twitter handle, or the Dragon Ball Perfect Shots. So they cut the best animations and, screenshots and stuff like that. And it was a screenshot of Vegeta doing the like wrist grab double kick to 19's head. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
So like when he grabs him and he jumps up and like drop kicks him in the head. Yeah. We were talking about that's the only W that Vegeta's ever gotten, because it's true. It's literally the only W he's gotten.
No, he also killed Cell.
No, he didn't, because it doesn't
without
count.
Without Gohan.
It doesn't count because he didn't actually slap him, okay? And then his dumbass let him get perfect and then got trumped again. So Vegeta did not get any W other than 19, and then it was immediately rescinded because he got patched by 18 5 minutes later. It was like he was a top-tier character, and then 18 came in with the patch hammer and just nerfed the hell out of him.
And his arm hurts in every fight thereafter.
Like he holds that this left arm always.
That same arm every fight.
Same arm. It reverberates. It's psychological.
Like, you know what? You know what doesn't... Dub complaint. Why doesn't that work in English?
What?
In American. This shit.
Because
why doesn't it work?
I don't know. You gotta heavy breathe on things.
It's just like when we're watching it in subtitles, it's like, yeah, okay, that looks painful. But if we're watching, like, I don't know, fucking Beast Wars, where like Dinobot has a saber in his stomach and he's like, we're like, okay,
Optimus.
But speaking of Dinobot, Scott McNeil. Mm-hmm. Scott McNeil did the voice for the original Piccolo.
Oh. Okay.
It all connects.
It all connects. Bro. See? And then, because speaking of Scott McNeil, he definitely does not do anything that I have to talk about today. I couldn't bring that one back. I have no idea.
I got it.
Okay.
Scott McNeil does the voice for he's really big for Gundam. So that's another like really he does Duo Maxwell, right?
Okay.
So we got Gundam, and Gundam is a very Toku related subject, right?
Yeah.
So obviously
there was a movie. There's G Savior, which is a live action Gundam movie. So there's your Toku.
Okay, we got the Toku. All right, so we're back to the Toku. So Toku right now is experiencing a really big push right now, and I didn't know a lot of stuff going on with Toku, like comic books.
Yes, which brings us to our topic for today.
Boom!
Adaptations.
Nailed it!
Look at us now. Oh, we did it. See that, folks? We always bring it back. Come on now.
Got it. Tangential experts.
Brought it back.
Tangential experts.
We are talking about Toku Adaptations. And we're not just talking some Power Ranger Boom comics. We are talking animes. We're talking video games.
Yes.
We're talking all kinds of fun things that are happening in the world of Toku now and in the future, and some more things that we would like to see.
Yes.
And yeah, there's a lot of great things out there, and I actually have some materials to share, like an actual goddamn TED Talk here. So I have some things to share. So
welcome to our Toku TED
Talk. Yeah, welcome to our Toku TED Talk that we do. This is called Tokudon. Welcome. Oh man. So yeah, adaptations. I don't know. You said you weren't super familiar with a whole bunch of them, right?
No, I mean, I was listening to a video, and there's a whole bunch of comic books coming out that I didn't know about. One that I really am excited about is a 01 comic that's coming out based in this. Well, I'm not sure how excited I want to get at it, because the wording said it's based in the world of 01.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if 01's in it.
Yeah, I would assume we're at least going to get the characters. I don't know if Aruto is going to be 01 period, or I'm sure he'll show up somehow.
A new rider would be dope too.
But yeah, no, there's been some stuff announced. We got the 01 comic. We have the Kuga comic coming out, which is
Kuga 2. We
were talking about that last week a little bit. Peacemaker let us know that that's the bridge between Kuga and Agito, and the official canon bridge between the two.
Kugito.
There you go. Kugito. Which Agito is goddamn cool. I'm learning more and more about how cool Agito is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
I haven't seen it in a long time to understand what I don't know.
I've never
So-
actually watched it outside the 2 episodes that are on the Toei Tokusatsu World Tour, or that's Tokusatsu World Tour is another podcast. Toei World channel thing that they have on YouTube.
Yeah. Toei channel.
The
Yeah.
Toei channel, yeah. They have the first 2 episodes up, I believe, and it is very there's an atmosphere to it. I kind of dig it.
Is it dark like?
Oh yeah, no. The first episode, there's someone like folded inside of a tree. Yeah, like the monster like folds them and stuffs them inside of a tree, and there's just like legs sticking out of the tree.
Maybe we gotta watch it again.
Yeah,
I don't
it was pretty sick. And then
Naruto.
I don't know if you've ever seen the Gil Henshin.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's one of the
Gil's
doper ones
Henshin
because
is cool. It's so simple, but it's
so like
sick.
if they did Shin right, like if they said, okay, let's cut out the nastiness and just give them the sick.
Yeah, they just switch places, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah, no, a lot of Akito I'm learning is pretty sick, so I'm gonna sit down and watch it eventually. I did start watching Blade again, so that is
So I
consumed
wonder-
all of my life.
So since it's the bridge version and we never see Yusuke really again, I wonder if he dies and that's it, and then it just evolves into the Agito driver.
Curious.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I don't know if yeah, and I honestly, no, I guess if the comic is the actual crossover, I'm assuming,
Just guess. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, I'm also wouldn't be surprised if they just did like an Ichigo and Nigo kind of thing, and Agito is.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, but
It'd be cool.
Like,
It'd
why
be
not try
interesting, or at least some
something
kind
different?
of like passing of the torch to where Yusuke can't do it anymore, like they reseal the Kuga belt or something, the Arkle driver.
yeah, because he doesn't want to do it anymore.
He's tired of blowing up 14 blocks with his foot.
Like,
So
that's what I mean.
yeah,
Like that'd be cool.
it'd be cool. Yeah, and
What you got there, bro?
Oh, what do I have here? Oh, it's just a few things. Speaking of adaptations, I picked up some movies from a local farmer's market.
Nice.
I have a Godzilla collection. So this is a Toho
Bro.
collection of some of the Heisei, or this is the Millennium series actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so this has all the cool like Kiryu movies and the Mecha Godzillas and Final Wars and all that kind of stuff.
I dig that.
And then I have one of my favorite movies of all time. And you know this, but a lot of people probably don't because I really don't talk about it on social media very much. One of my favorites ever.
Oh, Escaflowne.
Escaflowne.
Yeah, bro.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I watch this at least once a year. I love this movie. I love the mechs in it. And speaking of which, it's an anime, but it is very, very Toku themed or Toku styled because they get in giant mechs. And it's, if there was a live action adaptation of it, it would be very much so.
Everything is technically Toku.
Yes. And then this last one is going to possibly change my life forever and everything that I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, you what? What?
Guyver Dark Hero.
You found it?
I found it on DVD.
Oh my god.
So I have been told by you, and more so as the longer we do this podcast, that this movie is infinitely better than the first one.
Yes, he's
And
finally gonna watch.
I have had strong, terrible doubts in my brain for thousands of years at this point.
Joyous
so I am
day.
going to rip off this Band-Aid and watch Guyver 2 Dark Hero with our boy, Solid Snake.
You have to do a live reaction. You have
maybe
to watch
we'll do
this
a watch
movie
party
live with me.
somehow.
You have to do a watch party. Find a way. I don't care. We have
So,
to do that. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I am peeling off this hate Band-Aid for all of you clowns that have told me for years that Guyver 1 is not better than Guyver 2. I'm going to watch it and probably agree, but god damn it, I will stick to my guns.
I'm telling you, we'll see it in the live, but once that happy tear cries,
Right.
I'm gonna capture it, I'm gonna frame it, and that'll be it forever. That'll be the Guyver 2 tear.
We
That'll be my
actually
next
have,
power-up.
if no one is familiar, we have an entire episode dedicated to the first movie where this conversation goes on for over an hour. If you want to go back and check it out, let me just see what episode it is. I want to say it's in the 20s.
It's finally happening. And of course you found it at a vendor market. It's always one of those where it's like in the hole in the wall where you're like, hey, I'm just gonna go chill, have a good day. It's laziness.
Buy 2 get 2 free as well.
and even with a freaking special. Like I watch too many horror movies to think that's somebody fell.
Oh no.
You okay?
So if you want to go back, we have an entire episode where Rob tried to convince me that the first one is not better than the second one. It's episode 17 we talk about the first Guyver live action movie. So 17? I will watch this one and we will have an episode on it because I'm finally watching it.
God, finally.
So I thought you would enjoy that as a live reveal. I am
so happy. I'm so happy. And we're in that. I'm so excited. That is going to be one of the dopest live reactions here. Oh my God. Yes. All right.
I cannot wait for Solid Snake to henshin in my face.
And he doesn't do the Solid Snake full voice, but there's the birth of
there's
it.
There's the hint of it. Is there a good henshin scene like in the first one where it did the whole
there's
like wrap
seven,
around?
bro? There's seven henshin scenes that are dope.
Oh,
there's one where he's like, and I'm not gonna go full into it, but it's one where
I know there's a jumping one.
It's a full 90s rotoscope henshin.
Okay.
But it's done so masterfully. And then the final landing when he finalizes the henshin, it's the hero pose, and you're gonna fall in love with it.
Okay. Well, all right, listen. Like I said, I will probably agree, but I will stick to my guns and die on this hill as the troll that I am. So
you can do that with your blade, but you're gonna change your tune with this.
Okay, we'll see. Because this is actually a Toku adaptation, which ties it all back. Because
it's what we do.
Guyver is actually started off as an anime, which is the anime itself is extremely Toku styled. There's henshins, there's all this kind of stuff. And if no one is familiar with the Guyver story, essentially a 15-year-old child man. He's a full-grown man in college at some point in the live-action movie.
Yeah, every teenager and
every typical teenage boy in high school finds this alien suit and starts fighting other aliens. And the whole gimmick to Guyver is it's extremely violent and super cool. And this actually shaped my edgelord mentality.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Guyver holds a very special place in my heart. It literally has not it has taken 31 years for me to find this movie and to watch it. So
I'm so excited. That
happened. Yes.
All right.
So
we're setting that
tying it back to adaptations. That is actually one of my favorites because the original was, is so important to getting me into Toku. It was Godzilla pretty much before that, and a little bit of Power Rangers at that point. And then we rented this from West Coast Video.
West Coast
Video.
God, you're doing it back, bro.
And we rented the first one, and it was on VHS, and that opened my brain to like dark Toku, right? Like that was the one that kind of opened me up to why I love Garo, why I love Amazons. That was the one where it was like, nope, we can be gritty and violent and gross, and we can I don't know why everything looks wet, but I'm here for it. So it's one of those situations.
Is moist.
Yeah, why is everything moist? I don't know. I'm just uncomfortable and I love it. So that Guyver had a big part of that to do with that. And so, I was just thinking, since I got this and we have the new W anime coming out, we would talk about some adaptations today.
Yes.
Have you seen anything from the W manga? Because I know W is kind of your thing.
I've only seen stills. Like, here's the thing. Because of my current project, I am getting into comics more because I want to understand the medium better. And manga has always been that realm. It's like when Bleach was out, bro. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything of other than stills, but when Bleach was out, I would watch the manga. Somebody would cue it up and I would just watch it because it's just something about that blockage, and I hate it because I know the dopest stuff is manga. Like the rawest, the core of everything comes from the manga, and I'm so excited for the Black Sun because it's gonna be the more adult one. I don't think the double one is very adult, is it?
No, there's boobies. So
boobies is boobies, but I mean, like,
no, I think it's more like I think it's more. I can't speak to it honestly. I don't know. I've only seen that Shotaro is swole as hell, and there's one the dopant that henshins is just Booby City. So that's the only two things I know about it. I haven't seen anything else. I know. I think we get the Trigger version of whatchamacallit, Fang Trigger. I think we get Fang Trigger.
Fang Trigger. What is he shooting? Talons?
Yeah, probably. But he's got a gun, and I'm sure it probably has a bayonet on the front, like Garen style, when he goes Garen Jack. So he just stabs people. But yeah, we get one of the other Fang forms.
He shoots knives at you.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, damn. He just shoots other swords.
I love it.
Yeah, so I know we get a couple things like that. I don't know if we're going to get too much in terms of like Axel. I've honestly tried to stay away from it ever since they announced the anime, just because I wanted to, be a little spoiler free and see what we're going to get. And, I'm excited for it, though. It's Funimation doing it, so I'm sure it'll be of quality. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Funimation, I mean, they got the money for it, and they do their best to try to either stay close or completely warp it. So we're gonna get one of the others.
get one or the other. But I guess it also, I don't know who the studio is doing it, because Funimation isn't really like an animation studio. Let me see if I can find anything.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're more of dubbing kind of thing and producing and distribution.
Got it.
Let me see if I can find the actual studio who's doing the anime itself. Futo PI. There it is.
Futo.
Let me see. Do we have a studio?
You ever take a Japanese class?
I did not know.
Just because of the way Futo, the way it took like a whole half hour to get everybody to pronounce the F's appropriately.
Studio Kai are the ones doing it. Let me see what else they've got going on, because I don't know that name off the top of my head. Oh, they've done nothing I've heard of.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
That's going to be great.
So, but they've been around, it looks like, since like 2000. Nope. They're new.
To be fair, at one point, Mappa did nothing. Ghibli did nothing.
True.
So
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know, I just don't know anything about the studio, so we shall see.
Yep.
Art style looks interesting, so I'm curious if they'll get the actual voice actors back, or the actual actors back to do the voices. Let's hope it doesn't turn into like a supernatural anime kind of thing.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing.
Everything about Supernatural is awesome. It's amazing. Yep. It was the greatest for Dean to be in there for like a whole like 5 lines.
It was,
and then we got some
great. We got the weird eyeball. Do you remember the eyeball?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was weird. I mean, it was a retelling. Yeah, it was fun, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not Dean. That's not Dean. Not Dean. Hey, remember that line? Not Dean. Not how he would have said that. And I know how he would have said that, because I would have said it like this, and that's how he would have said it.
Oh my god. I think we actually get, so I'm looking at more things involving this. I'm just looking at the forms of whatchamacallit on the wiki here. So it looks like we're gonna get Fang Metal and Fang Trigger, which is pretty sick actually.
Fang Metal.
Fang Metal looks kind of disgusting, and then Fang Trigger uses a bow and arrow. It looks like.
Fang Trigger. Oh my god, that would be dope.
I'm just on the fandom. I'm just on the W fandom.
They're going primal with it.
Hopefully, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I wouldn't hate if we get like a new extreme version too, somehow, some way.
Extreme, like a beyond
Fang extreme kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be down for more Fang. I liked Fang a lot. Fang was my favorite of the W forms.
It's a berserker form. They don't do much with those other than that. Hey,
I just really like the memory. I like that it's a little raptor that like folds into the belt. That was cool.
Yeah.
And I want to see. Before I die, I need someone out there, someone in the Toku world that is good at drawing. Please do Fang trial. For the love of God, someone do that. Because that would be terrifying.
A Fang trial,
dude.
Upgrade. I love the driver. I love you, buddy. Where are you? There you are. I love this thing. I love it. This
imagine
guy,
if you had Fang and trial on that bad boy.
Yo,
so cool.
I don't have Fang.
Fang's very expensive. I hope they reprint it soon. Honestly.
They don't have it anymore? Oh,
no, it's kind of hard to get a hold of. I want to say it's a good like $60-$80. It's like the price of the driver.
Everything is about $60-$80, and that's already up.
I just assume everything is $60-$80 at this point.
Exactly. So, like that's just the standard. Like when you go to the shop, $300 plus your lifeblood.
Yes, please. 3 of your firstborns. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
You heard
Much
me.
Thanks.
But yeah, so that was really the main thing. That's coming out in 2022.
Okay,
and
so, bro, we're already right here. It's right here.
Yeah,
we're here already.
I forgot it was December already. Thank you.
We are gonna eat good the next couple months, bro.
I know.
It's time to eat.
We got
good.
that O's 10-year coming out. We got a whole bunch of stuff. It's gonna be good for the Kamen Rider group. Black Sun's coming out next year. Yeah, next year, and then the year after that is Shin Kamen Rider.
Shin. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty sick. Pretty freaking cool. Is there any? You were talking about the Power Ranger Boom comics. Yeah, have you been getting into those a little more?
Well, like because I can't really consume the actual medium, I watch just a lot of videos on it. So I mean, I've been getting. I listened to the recent story about Draken coming back, and
He is, apparently.
then he pulled another dick move again. So it's like,
I don't know why anyone was surprised.
but that's my point. It's like, yo, I have severely underestimated how awesome the storyline is for these comics. This storyline, obviously, because they're able to do different stuff that doesn't actually have to do
It's not
X, Y, Z,
limited by,
like the
you
kid
know,
show. Yeah,
Sentai
like the
footage.
show has to do X, Y, Z. So I get it. But I mean, the fact that they can take that plot, that same thread, and be like, but what if this, you know? And then they give you Draken.
Yeah.
And Draken alone was worth the entire 20-30 years that it took to get to Draken. If you're telling me that all of Toku in America was pushed towards this guy, I believe it. Totally worth it.
Definitely.
That guy is amazing.
Yeah, and like
storytelling.
I think Ryan Perot and Kyle Higgins have a lot to do with that.
Higgins, yeah, that guy.
Higgins is great. He does Radiant Black as well, which we can get into in a minute because I know you're all about that right now. But yeah, Ryan Perot, I don't know how he says it, has been kind of leading the Boom Comics lately, and he's the one who brought back Shadow Ranger. Is that his name? The dude from In Space.
The Titan. No, I don't know. I
don't remember. But he has the dude like White Get Up now and all that kind of stuff, and they're doing a whole kind of backstory with like Zordon and Zed and how they became
that too. That's an interesting. The whole thing with Zed is dope. I mean,
was he actually flayed? Like, is that like canon?
From what I understand, it's it's the punishment he got for trying to take the Zeo crystal is that he was flayed. Yeah,
great.
So they're not playing around. You know what I mean? They're not playing. Like, yeah, cool, nice job.
Great.
We'll take that.
Your skin is mine now. Thank you.
And you know what? We're gonna cover it with that.
Yeah, I think. Would you prefer if they were to do some kind of like comic? Let's just talk strictly comics for a second, since we're talking about those. If they were to do some kind of manga or comic adaptation, would you prefer something like Boom, where they expand on lore, or would you rather see like a retelling of the series in a stylized manga format?
So specifically talking like adaptation.
Yeah, like,
I would.
How would you adapt it? Like, would you take the ideas and kind of continue the story, or would you just redo the story in a stylized manner?
I think because I tend to take a lot of ideas and create my own, I think adaptation would be my natural way to go. But think of it would really depend on the story I'm adapting. Like, if it's something Geo, yes. If it's Kuga, probably not.
Yeah.
I think I would try to stay as loyal as possible to Kuga's plot, if not expand more on the Grongi.
Yeah, like a history
and
of
actually
the old Kuga.
Yeah, like Daguva. If Daguva got maybe as much as Yusuke, like I would have introduced them at the same time, if not the episode after, you know. But like have the journeys parallel each other deeper.
Okay.
From the different perspectives, because you know the Grongi are dicks, but because of XYZ.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what if
it depends on the story?
What if we? Okay. So let me pry at this a little bit. So if we take, I think something that we can both kind of agree is a fairly complete story, like 01, since we have that coming out. If they were to hand you 01 and say, "Hey, make a manga, make a comic," what would you do with it? Would you retell 01 and change a few things, or would you do an expanded universe kind of deal?
Expanded universe only. Okay, so first Zaya's gone.
Just delete Towser. He's gone.
Towser's gone. Towser is only gonna be there as the form that Metsubo Jinrai creates for their own super lackey. Well, okay. Anyway, but yes, the plot would stay the same, where you have your hero take over the company for the grandfather, but I would have the grandfather have more like a secret about Metsubo, not that whole where it was an accident that went crazy. I would make it more. It was the first version of his AI system that he just kept improving on, like a Jarvis, how Ultron took over Jarvis, you know what I mean, like that kind of situation, and he had to shut it down, and then that's what they're fighting against, rather than just because reasons.
My little buddy over here made a bad AI and we sent it to space, so
and I had to kill it, and it's not dead, so now it's back and angry. Sorry, nephew, gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, so. And Izu would have had battle. He couldn't. No, I'm just kidding. But
I imagine your Izu would literally just be was Alicia from Tekken. She's got like chainsaw arms.
Yeah, my Izu would be that and Cosmos from the Xeno Saga. Okay. Like just totally stoic and just ready to go. Like
big anime eyes and Gatling guns.
Yes, yeah, and the Gatling gun, it would just come out of her elbow. You know what I mean? Like, but
she just flips her arm around and see the chainsaw or the Gatling gun.
So Vulcan, what I would do with Vulcan is he actually suspects Hiden intelligence of programming everything just like he did, but he's more gung-ho. He's leading guerrilla attacks in the middle of fights with Yua, who's trying to reel him in, representing maybe the actual government. You know what I mean? Like really pull in Japan into that. And if she's representative of what the people want, then her struggle against trying to balance this new form of Hiden's lack of control versus U.S. guerrilla attacks are causing chaos with the population. Boom, you got your trifecta there. And then I'll figure out how to wrap up the story with some power forms and shit like that. But Vulcan gets a super power form.
You're taking the plot to Vulcan and Valkyrie and cementing it onto the 01 series.
That had a plot? Yeah.
That was essentially the plot they were trying to go for. Like, right? Like that was the whole like, I'm going to do how I do. I'm going to do it by the rules, this kind of thing, this, that, and the other. That was kind of the idea. So,
yeah.
Okay.
You cut out all the cheese with Bowser and you put in the Valkyrie episode and you're good.
Okay. All right. Are you going to have a bunch of spinoffs that you have to watch to understand the story where certain characters?
Absolutely. You have to. That's money, bro. That's just money.
Yeah, you got to go to the web series. Come on now.
You got to get the money. I mean, I'm going for the cheese.
I mean, I'm going for the free fan subs, but come on.
But I mean, okay, so obviously because I like 01, my idea is just to hypercut it. But for a story like Zio, because I hate time travel so much, it would present to me a way to work my struggles out.
Okay.
Because the one thing about time is that it never matters in the end.
Yep.
It always never matters.
Yep.
And I hate it. So even in Geo, you know what I mean? Like how ultimately, how do we do this? How do you fix a reset that doesn't matter?
Well, you can start by, it's fine because it deleted Zio, so that's cool with me. We can just delete Zio, it's fine.
But we have to have it.
No, we don't.
No, we're fixing it. We're fixing it.
You do the decade thing where it's like, it's an alternate timeline. He's just jumping around in them. That's all it is.
But that's what they actually did anyway, ultimately.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I never actually saw the end of it. I have no idea.
He goes and he resets the timeline and he sets everything back to what it was, if I remember right. I don't really know now. Now I'm questioning, but
I couldn't tell you. I have no desire to go back and watch it, honestly, to tell you whether it is or not. So,
all right. So I would have fixed Geo by just simply focusing more on the consequences of playing with time.
Okay.
Because you take the power of the rider. That rider never happened. We'll say that. You know what I mean? In order to make it consequential. I'm going to borrow your power. Or no, if you're going to take the rider never existed, so you only have the secondary. And what happens with the secondary is they probably lose. So the bad guys win in that universe. So you have to fix that universe. That would be an
interesting little play. I mean? Like he needs to get more powerful by essentially deleting the other riders to like get their little, their power watch, whatever the things are. Yeah. I forget.
Their sector key.
Yeah. So that's actually a really cool idea. I kind of like that concept. Like, we have to have this dude succeed. Is this the greater good? Or do we let, the problems that are in this timeline go out? And then,
right.
I'm sure by the time we would get to, I guess that was the 2020 series, 2019 series, whatever.
2019, yeah.
Yeah. So like by that time, the events of Build, maybe Evolt won. Maybe Evolt merged the two worlds. He did win. He merged the two worlds anyway, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that kind of thing. The bad version of that.
Yeah. The consequences have to be legit with time for me. because otherwise it's just always pointless.
Oh my goodness.
You get Back to the Future 2 and 3 because of that same reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Back
and
to the Future 1 was great.
That would
You
be
didn't
kind of
need the other
interesting,
two.
I think. And it would kind of play up the whole, like, even maybe the main writers, like, they have memories of these other timelines and they come to, like, fight him to get their powers back, sort of thing, and like fix their own timeline.
So speaking of adaptation and creating, our little project that we have going on, I was kicking around these ideas for your Ancient Riders plotline.
Mm-hmm.
So now I wasn't sure how it would work because I've never seen it done.
Yeah.
But imagine you're at this would be the pretext to the current show. So this is how you ultimately defeated or sealed away the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Another rider, per se. So what I was thinking is your character's rider was actually the secondary rider in the ancient time. And your main rider went banana fuck. And you had to stop him because he embraced whatever evil because of XYZ, because evil anime guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever we come up with. But what I was thinking is to defeat, he went absolutely banana, and he needed to be stopped, and he agreed to be stopped, but couldn't control himself. So he accepted your blade to terminate his life, but traded his, so you had the same driver, took his item and gave it to you to depower. So you assumed the rider, but you weren't the original main rider. Feel me?
Yeah.
How's that?
The only thing I would add to that is my rider needs to be Encino Man. I need to come flying out of that casket or whatever and being like, what is happening? I am here to kick ass, and what is that thing? Why does that creature have a pipe-looking device thing? I don't know what an old person would call a pipe.
Stick.
Why does that horse have a growl? That kind of thing. That's the only thing I'm throwing in there. That's my 2 cents for that rider. Encino Man.
Okay. Encino Rider.
Because, again, speaking of adaptations, I think... the Dino Fury did an actually really good job with that. They have
Zato.
Zato, there you go. Zato, I think, is actually like really entertaining as this kind of fish out of water, like ancient dude, ancient warrior bro.
He's my favorite main rider. Main ranger. He's like, it's charming and it doesn't get old.
Yeah, and like a little bit, it's like a good kind of cheese, right? Like when they do they go to fist bump and he like grabs the hand, and stuff like that. Like it's good, heartwarming. Like okay, that's kind of cool. I'm
not gonna deny that he did have me saying "coolio" for a couple days.
Coolio.
Coolio.
I think that's the kind of thing where like they take. I don't know if Ryu Soldier does this too. I don't think they're kind of like a fish out of water thing. I think they're just like a lineage of cool night people. I could be wrong. I have never seen Ryu Soldier. I could be completely wrong. But I think there's stuff like that when they do adapt, Power Rangers, they do mix up the personalities a little bit and, their backstories. I think that's one of the things that Power Rangers does fairly well. And sometimes it's a lot more interesting than whatever they came up with before.
So I'm not, like I said, I'm still working out my, my Power Ranger knowledge, but as I was doing my research here, they kept mentioning a series that was better than the Japanese. SPD?
I think a lot of people think SPD and Deca Ranger are pretty on par with each other. I know a lot of people don't like Oranger.
Oranger.
That
Which
was
one?
Zeo.
That's the Zeo.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people prefer Zeo to Oranger. Oranger, whatever you want to call it.
Oranger.
So I think there's that one. Car Ranger, I've heard, is very hit or miss, but I know Car Ranger is also like a parody of itself. Like the entire point was to be a parody of Sentai.
Because it's too goofy. Like they just make jokes the whole time.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I never honestly watched Turbo because at that point I was growing out of the Power Rangers and was going like, oh, I'm too cool and old for this. So I never really got into Turbo that much other than the movie. And then there's In Space and Lost Galaxy and all those, and I don't know how people feel about those. That is a question. Maybe next time we get some of the Power Ranger Command Power Hour peeps on. Zach,
yeah, we need some experts.
Whenever we get Zach on, or if Eric, if you hear this and want to stop by, let me know, bro.
I really am interested. I want to learn more. It's just like I can't watch. I can't watch all the seasons.
No,
there's no way.
There's the handful that I've seen here and there, and like I said, I've been trying to watch more Sentai to expand my Sentai knowledge.
Right.
Doing so, and Gao Ranger is fun. It's fun.
That's where you're at now, Gao?
I'm at Gao. I just kind of picked one that was available on VRV to stream, so I didn't have to go hunting. I do want to see Deca Ranger. I want to see Geki Ranger. Geki Ranger has Dai Ranger is one of my favorite ones. That was martial arts themed. So Geki Ranger I do want to watch because that's also martial arts themed. So there's stuff like that too, and I feel like there's a lot of Sentai adaptations too when it comes to like comics and things like that. But getting kind of away from the comics, I wanted to also talk about some of the anime adaptations, since again we were talking about the W anime. Some other ones. One of my favorites of all time is the SSS series, the SSS Gridman and SSS Dynazenon. I have spoke about these at length multiple times because I love this show. Yes, no, because I love Gridman, like the original Gridman, Hyper Agent Gridman, and Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Like that was one of the OG shows for me. That was one of my OG loves when it came to this kind of stuff. So like seeing the original series all these years later, it's so cool, and I think the fights and choreography are just so well done. That show is very, very entertaining and has aged amazingly. And when you have Trigger, one of the coolest, most stylized anime studios out there, they've done stuff like Kill la Kill, they've done Promare, they've done all kinds of crazy nonsense. They did Gurren Lagann. Like
their Sakuga's good.
Their Sakuga is amazing. And when you throw that onto a Toku thing like Gridman that I already hold near and dear to my heart, of course I'm going to love this show. Like the entire point is just crazy anime over the top Toku. It has the same henshins. It has the same. To be super intense. Themes.
Like it's straight up to get your heart jumping.
Grid Beam has never looked better. The henshins have never looked better. Godzenon has never looked better. All this stuff, and it's just so cool. So amazing.
So it can be great. It's going to be potentially amazing. So let's do it.
Yeah, and SSS Dynazenon takes everything that was amazing about Gridman and just makes it better. So I am so excited to see the third one. Yeah.
So since Gao, because I'm watching the roll call here, Gao, they're mechs too. Like their changers are mechs.
So their changers are phones. They're the Gao phones.
Okay.
So it's just like, I don't know. Did you see Wild Force? Have you ever watched Wild Force? Power Rangers Wild Force?
Not yet. No.
So they would always do like the Wild Access. Ha! Like that's how they changed. Yeah. They did the Wild Access. Ha!
All right. So another
kind of thing.
Is
Gao Access is what they call. Yeah. They say Gao Access, and then they do the phone, and then the phone kind of takes on the shape of their mech, and then it turns into them. That's more of an effect.
So that's
more
what
than
it was.
Anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that looks dope. I like that idea where
cool.
their changer is another. Again, I like the sentient belt changer idea. I like that because it could potentially add a character,
Yeah.
So,
and it's not necessarily like the phones don't do anything other than let them change and talk to each other, essentially.
Yeah.
But Gao Ranger / Wild Force also has my favorite of the combiner forms, the combiner weapons. The big jungle sword. I forget what it's called in Gao Ranger.
Oh.
But the evil slaying beast sword or something like that.
Yeah.
And it has one of the coolest finishers out of any Sentai or Power Rangers that I've seen. I love that thing. I think it's so sick.
Let me watch it.
It's pretty cool. It's just this big dumb sword. They just swing around, and then a big honestly, it's probably because it looks a lot like the Obari Brave series, like big swords just whoa when they hold it there.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's so cool looking.
Nice.
It's so cool. And it just extends super far and always cuts them. And I don't know. It's one of my favorite ones. They need to bring back more of those combination weapons, in my opinion, for Sentai. Maybe I'd be more interested.
Isn't that... Yeah, you mean combination weapons, not combination forms like a Captain Marvelous?
Yeah, no, not like that. Or like Lupin Pat had had that weird triple pat form. I don't know what it was called.
The design for Lupin has grown on me since it's come out. I didn't like it at first. The Pato Ranger I don't like at all. I don't like those designs.
I just don't like the white on the Pato Ranger, honestly.
Yeah, something about it just throws me off. But I do like the Lupin Ranger design. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they look cool. But yeah, I want them to bring more of those back. But in terms of adaptations like that, there's difference also between adaptation and just influence, right? There's all kinds of some little, I don't know if it's like a Magic Girl or if it's just a slice of life anime where these girls at like a talent show do the full Die Ranger henshin. The full like ha.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty sick
dope.
actually. They do the full like lineup, same shot for shot and everything.
I gotta see it.
But I don't know what this show's called, honestly. You'd have to
It's probably I know.
Die Ranger roll call anime. I'm sure it'll pop right
Yeah,
up.
that's exactly what I put in.
Yeah.
Die Ranger.
So
Die Ranger has an anime.
yeah, and that's a little bit different. But there's also like I just want them to do more stuff like the SSS series, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the W anime, the Fudo PI, is a step in the direction of like them experimenting more with that kind of thing. Like Garo's been doing that for a long time. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Garo animes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
The first season is very up and down, but like I enjoy
That's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very up and down, and I love them as it is. And the second season I got a little bit into, but I think I had like burned out from the first season because the first season's like 50 something episodes. So I had like rolled from that right into the second season, which is the more like Japanese themed one where they're like samurai. Very cool Garo designs.
I don't like the trade-off, the 99.9 second
That goes away.
timer.
That goes
It
away.
does?
Yes. So that goes away when I don't remember I have to rewatch the original Garo. It's on VRV. But that eventually goes away because when they hit that they go berserk, right? And
Right, yeah.
Kota does something. I don't think it's the 100 demons because they have to kill 100 horrors and that's how he gets the horse, I'm pretty sure, with the big dumb sword.
Okay.
I don't remember how he bypasses that, but it becomes a point later where they just don't have that timer.
Gotcha.
I don't remember exactly how. I'm pretty sure Koga isn't unique in that. Like, I'm pretty sure the other timeline, the Goldstorm show guys, and like the guy from Gokaiger is there. That one, that timeline.
Yes.
Gokai Silver, he's in that one, and then so is the guy with the bow, like the Iryu looking dude. That timeline, I don't think they have a timer on theirs. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think they do. So it varies, and they seem to be able to kind of bypass that. Like I don't think Ray has one anymore either. The Silver Knight.
I didn't dig it. I was just like, it's dumb, but I get it. They have to because they don't want to blow the budget.
That, and I think it also adds a bit of tension, right? Like you only have so much time to like kick the shit out of this thing. Like it's.
But then why not start off with your Hisatsu? I'm just saying.
Because you gotta whittle it down if you can't do it right away,
True, it's true.
I just don't. My only thing is I don't know why he didn't light his regular sword with the green fire and do it that way. Ooh. But that's just me. I don't know. That's definitely a budgetary thing. But
I'm watching that anime thing for the Die Ranger roll call. That's smooth as hell, man.
Yeah,
that Die Ranger roll call is so sick.
I love the Die Ranger roll call. That is what made me go like, okay, I will be down for any roll call. Just give me a roll call. I'm already invested. Half a foot. So
I think my favorite roll call. Okay, the most fun roll call for me is the Kyo Ranger. The Kyoryu Ranger. Yeah.
All 13 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's enjoyable. They're not all boring, like
yeah. I really like the Q Ranger one, the space one. I like that one a lot too. With like Lucky and the Wolf guy, because they're very different, obviously. So like them doing their whole thing with the splash art and everything, I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
I like that one. But yeah, no, I want to see more Toku anime, please. Thank you. I would love that. Please. And if you're not going to do that, we can talk about kind of we can talk about video games. There's all kinds of video games when it comes to Toku.
Well, yeah. I still haven't beat the ghost one I got. I don't know how.
Oh, the Bat Ride? That one? Genesis?
Yeah. I don't know how to beat it.
I mean, it's Dynasty Warriors, so I'm sure you just have to like do the weird little side mission things.
I keep going because it's like it stops me from selecting the next mission because I think at this point I have to beat it with a certain rider.
You just don't know which one because it's in Japanese.
Because I'm like, oh man, I don't
understand. Match the kanji.
Level.
You just gotta go through and try and match the kanji.
It's tough, man. It's tough, bro. But I might use my phone.
There you go. Yeah, use Google Translate.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, legit. That's where I was. I'm like, I like it.
I want more Toku games. First off, I'm gonna preface all of this by saying I need more Toku games. It's to the point where
fighters, platformers, adventure games.
No, I need. Well, first off, I will be the first one to tell you we need a solid 2.5D fighting game. We need a Dragon Ball FighterZ for Kamen Rider. That's what we need. Yeah. Period.
I'm okay with that.
I did an entire 3-hour stream talking about the roster for that game. So that needs to happen. Toei, I know you're watching.
They're always watching.
Yeah.
You should be watching
so like
us.
that's great. And honestly, I'm down for whatever. Like Memory of Heroes, I heard was pretty cool. It's fine. But that came out 3-4 years ago now. Like Zero, the farthest form I think it has is Metal Hopper. I don't think it even has 02. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Metal Hopper.
Or Metal Cluster.
Metal Cluster.
Metal Cluster. Yeah, there you go.
Wasn't that a mobile? Didn't they have a mobile game that just came out too?
They
Isn't it all mobile now?
They always have mobile games for something.
That's what I mean. Like it's all. I guess that's what they don't even do anything now.
But
it's
like,
all a mobile game and then a batch ride.
They tested. I just want them to do a test like they did with Gundam Versus, right? Like so. Bandai believed that Gundam wasn't going to sell in the West, so they haven't really been localized in a lot of games. That's why Gundam Breaker isn't localized. That's why we got Gundam Versus and New Gundam Breaker. And New Gundam Breaker is trash poo poo doo doo caca. Please delete
Why?
that. It's so bad. You have to. So it was $7 the other day, so I did buy it despite my disdain for this game. Because Gundam, and honestly, a lot of that disdain is because Gundam Breaker 3 is amazing. That game is so good. There's 100-something suits. You can customize them super easily. The combat feels amazing. It's just a good, smooth game. And then a different company took over for this new Gundam Breaker project. And to even use your abilities, and by abilities, I mean like the stuff built into your suit. You mean
like a buster? Like
to do like you can do your standard like one shot pew pew, but to do the buster cannon, you have to unlock like chests. And you move very slow in that game. And you have to get like 4 or 5 of these things before you can do some of these abilities. Like my boy Zabanya, right? Got a whole bunch of bits. That's my thing. Love it. Zabanya is in this game. That's one of the only reasons why I was like $7. Okay, we'll do it. Because Zabanya is here.
So you can't even use the bits?
I can't use the bits until I reach Trans Am, which takes at least 10 of these stupid little things I have to unlock. And then after that, I have to get another like 10 or so just to be able to use the bits. I use it once and then it's on cooldown forever. So I can't even use the abilities that I need to.
And this is the sequel to that first one?
This is, so this is technically the 4th game in the series.
How do you
New
get
Gundam
worse?
Breaker? Because it's a whole different company. I don't know. Whatever. But Gundam Breaker 3, you can use those abilities right out the gate. You can train them. So the way Gundam Breaker 3 does it is you can take, say if I had Zabanya and Bits was like an EX move or a super move, I could use that enough to where I could slap it on any suit, whether they had the bits or not. So
that's not too bad.
Burning Finger is a good example. Burning Finger I maxed out immediately because it's Burning Finger. So
it's fucking Burning Finger. That's the first one on the list.
Normally it's tied to Burning Gundam's arms, right? Like it has the hands, it does the thing, it does the heat end. You use it enough. I have it now on my Gundam that has like Age FX arms. So you can just put it on whatever. It's just an ability you can do. The effects may change a little bit. Like I have one that's like a butterfly energy clap kind of thing. It's from one of the unicorn movies. They do the big energy explosion and it like claps butterfly wings. But like I only have a GN thing on my back. I don't have like a unicorn backpack that would normally come out of this thing. So it's one of those sort of things. Like you can mix and match, and that's so cool to do. They limit you so much in New Gundam Breaker. They do things like, so there's option parts where you can attach, like say you want a buster cannon. You can put a buster cannon on a shoulder that may not have been there before. Okay. You can take like a GM. It's a great way to like customize a GM to however you want. Like you can put a new big dumb sword. Like if you wanted, Strike Gundam's big dumb sword, you could slap that on there just as an option piece to use. Please. In New Gundam Breaker, they are strictly cosmetic. You cannot use these weapons that you put on there. So you affect stats and things, but you cannot use the weapons. So it's pointless. It's literally pointless. It's just decisions where I'm like, why would anyone make this decision? That's what I'm confused about.
So it's like a Fortnite Gundam game?
It's a shitty Gundam game is what it is. It's not compared to anything. It's just a shitty Gundam game.
I just mean as cosmetics go. Like that's all that game is. It's just here's a gun and here's something that holds it that looks pretty.
Yeah, like it doesn't even look that pretty. Like I kind of think Gundam Breaker, like it definitely looks better. Like the higher quality textures because it was made for PS4, that kind of thing. Right. Like Gundam Breaker 3 was made for Vita and PS4. So it kind of has that limitation of the Vita being, not as powerful, but it still works. It still looks great. And I can do all of my things. So if you're going to do that, Bandai or Toei, if you're going to do that with Kamen Rider, for the love of God, don't make it dumb aesthetic things that I can't use. No. Don't use New Gundam Breaker. Use Gundam Breaker 3 as your model.
You do. All right. So you have your option Carl. Hey, this is Josuke Joskerson from Bandai.
Josuke Joskerson. He's named after one of the JoJo characters.
Speaking of Hearthstone Ocean,
I haven't started it yet.
I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised that you started.
There's a reason, because I've been very busy this week. Since I am off this week, I've been very busy with work. So I wanted to make sure all that was
unacceptable.
Real life things. So unfortunately, this cannot be my main job. Or else I would have watched it.
I dig it.
I just wanted a chunk of time where I could sit down and watch as much as possible at once.
I think the 12 are out, right? It's a 12
there's 12 episodes. There's going to be at least 12 more. Because I know it doesn't finish it. This is a chunky one. So we'll get there. I have not watched it yet, but I wanted to set a block where I could watch like 4 or 5 episodes at a time.
Okay, so gotcha. Okay,
Jolie's my girl. I would not miss out on this one. So
Josuke Joskerson gives you the budget to make your Kamen Rider game.
Mm-hmm.
But catch is it's based on Revice because it's the newest one.
Okay.
What do you do?
Can I make a fighting game?
You have the money to make the game you want to make, but it has to be around Revice.
That's fine. So I would go to Arxis and I would say, hey, I got all this money.
You're going that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going hard, man. You're making DNF Duel. You just made Grand Blue. You got your shit set with Strive. We're working on a goddamn Kamen Rider game, okay? You, me, and the team. We're going hard. We are going to make Kuga's nuclear kick look amazing. We're going to make a moveset. I designed entire movesets for these people on that stream. Like,
go on.
That is fine. I am 100% here for it. We can have a meeting. Let's sit down and make this GDD, this goddamn game design document. Let's make this. And we're going to take Revice. We're going to have him do his thing. Maybe like Dark Revice could even be the boss. That way he kind of round robins. He does like a...
You have to have the palette swap,
Yeah, he does like palette swap, but he's also kind of like, what's his face from Soul Calibur, Inferno? Where he just like he just swaps out the forms and then he's using a different form every round. You know, that kind of thing. Then you get a little bit of all the things.
Okay, I dig it.
Like, that's what I want. Budgetable. That's what I would do. And if not, just give me like a solid, give it to like actual Koei Tecmo to make a real Dynasty game. Like, the guys who do Bat Ride is fun. Bat Ride is fun, but it's not to the level of like a Koei Tecmo Dynasty.
Okay, you know what I would do? How about a Pokemon Link?
No.
Kamen Rider game?
No. Get out. No. If you're gonna do that, just give me
the 3 eras. You have to pick Ichigo, Kuga, or 01. Those are your picks, right?
Those are your starters.
Then those are your starters, right? You start off with their base forms. As you level up, first gym leaders. First gym leaders are all from Shocker. They're all Shocker gym leaders.
I just thought of a perfect way to market that too. They have those new Vita bracelets with the Kamen Riders.
Yes, perfect.
You have to pick the dim card with the different rider, and it manifests. That's literally what Digimon Ghost Game is. They use the Vita bracelets to like manifest the Digimon. So you can just use that to manifest the Kamen Riders.
That's it. And it's a manifestation. You call them, they level up like Pokemon. You get 4 attacks. You get your rider kick as an ultimate critical finish, and that's it.
At that point, just give me a turn-based Kamen Rider.
Yes.
Just give me a turn-based RPG.
Ooh. Or you don't make it like Pokemon and you make it strictly like Digimon, where you switch out your rider. You get one and you just have to change it.
Well, that's kind of how the I don't know if you ever played any of the Cyber Sleuth games. Cyber Sleuth, you have a 3 on the field at one time, but you can hold up to 8 or 9. So you can swap them out as you need them, because they do kind of like a rock paper scissors system where it's like
this beats that, X beats
this
Y.
beats that, this beats that, this is weak to that, this is strong to that. They have virus, data, and vaccine. So like data is strong against vaccine strong to virus, and virus is strong to data kind of deal. They have that like rock paper scissors. So you can, and then there's elemental stuff too, but that's kind of more of your standard RPG. Like it's weak to fire, it's resistant to fire.
So it could be like triple the effect of
the color of the symbol. So there's 3 different symbols. There's the one for the vaccine, the data, and the virus, and then the color of that denotes the element. And so like certain elements are weak to each other, certain elements are strong, and in that case you're kind of just getting into like Pokemon kind of thing, where it's like you know, it's weak to electricity, but it's also weak to data, so you have a 4 times multiplier as opposed to just 2 or whatever it might be, or 2 as opposed to 1.5. Like you could do that kind of thing if you do like Kamen Rider. You can have them, you know, into different styles or whatever it might be, and
not bad. I mean,
do that, and then you know I'm running with my boys, and then all of a sudden, you know, I slap Amazons out there, and then all of a sudden he's hanging out with Omega, and then then you have that weird headcanon going on, and it's kind of like, oh man, what am I doing here? And you could even throw it in like a virtual world, because why not at this point? You could tie in the Ganbarizing cards at that point and make it more.
I mean, I was about to say, just isekai the shit out of it and just make it all Ganbarizing.
Exactly, it's all isekai at this point. Everything's a goddamn isekai at this point. Why not?
Why not? Let's just go for it.
So
I mean, I do like the idea that specific writers could get specific things. Like I could see a Blade game as a card-based game.
They had a Blade game that's kind of like a run-around hack and slash sort of game.
Did you ever play Baten Kaitos? Remember that?
Yes, I remember it. I never played it.
So it's like a card game where you would only be able to do X attacks or whatever with the cards that you collect.
Yeah.
So I could see a Rider game like that where you have to stock them up, just like that Kingdom Hearts game that came out a while back.
That reminds me of Phantom Dust. If you ever played Phantom Dust.
Did not play that.
So essentially it's the same thing. It's kind of like you build a deck and then they randomly spawn on the field. So it's not necessarily cards. It's just kind of like groups of energy, but you build a quote unquote deck of abilities, and they spawn on the field, and then you have to like replace your buttons with whichever ones you need. Some of them are one-time burns, some of them stick around, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I see a card in the Blade game called Tachibana. When you play it, it just screams Tachibana across the entire field, and everybody gets confused and dazed and silenced.
And then it hard cuts to like the actual clip of the show of him like melting in the green stuff. Tachibana! And then he's just like,
sorry, couldn't help it.
It's so good. It's so cheesy. The first 12 episodes are so rough.
It's just burned in my head, man. Burned in there.
Like, I can see why people dropped it before the first 12 episodes are over.
I apologize for nothing, but I understand your obsession.
I'm watching it. Like, I'm watching the first 12 episodes with a big dumb grin on my face, and then I'm like, I get it, though. I get it.
I understand. It's cool.
I get it. What about you, though? Like, what would you do, like an RPG kind of thing? What kind of game would you do if you had free reign?
Like, if I had free range and I had to base it on Revice, just to keep within my own stipulation here, I do like the idea that, obviously every game should be an opportunity to celebrate the anniversary, but you make the game specific for the rider. So Revice is the 50th anniversary, nothing really to do with time. Yep. So you could just celebrate every season by giving your... Now, I like platformers just because of the simplicity, but like a dynasty, like a Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would just make the game about
like
Revice.
A character action game.
Right. But because it's Kamen Rider and because we have the availability, why not let him go into the other worlds?
Yeah.
That's all it would be. Yeah. The Devil May Cry style level game where you help your rider with and you get your dynasty kick too, because obviously the whole point of the rider of Devil May Cry is to get the combos. Now, the one thing that I've never seen in any Kamen Rider game is a combo system that looks legit, because it's not really that kind of fighting in the show. But what's to say? Like every time we get a movie and they do those little cutaways, you know what I mean? Even Drive had the wheel kick, you know what I mean? Like more of that in a Kamen Rider game. That's what I would do. Yeah, no,
that sounds that'd be sick. Like I don't know if you remember at some point I was designing a video game for Station, that story I was working on. And it was essentially like a almost like Kingdom Hearts 2, how it had the reaction button. It would change depending on what it did, like a tactical context. I think having like a henshin button like that, depending on where it is in the combo, where it is this, that, and the other, that would be a really cool way to kind of switch out the forms and continue combos. And then because it could get a little stale if everyone is Dante switching weapons and stuff like that. I think it could be you unlock abilities and then you kind of have this henshin button to sort of do it that way. But yeah, like something like that would be really cool. We talked about Toku Souls before. If we're talking character action games, like, man, that would feel good. I'm telling you, Elden Ring, I better get this rider kick on these fist weapons.
There'll be mods. There will definitely be mods.
I mean, yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been modding it. I showed you last week. It was the Kamen Rider Kiva armor. Yes. Oh man, I've been trying to find more Toku mods to just shoehorn whatever Toku I can into it, because the games, when we do get them, are like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of them that are like blowing my mind.
Yeah, legit. Like like I said, I haven't been able to beat the game just because I don't have the full grasp of the Japanese language yet. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, even if I were to beat it, I don't know if I'd play it again.
Yeah, and like story wise, honestly, you could easily do something like, I don't know if you ever played speaking of JoJo, the JoJo it's like Stairway to Heaven is the actual like not
Okay.
translated version.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's Dio from a different timeline has a MacGuffin that lets them travel through time. And there's also like the Jesus corpse parts, which Jesus is a stand user. Okay, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into JoJo. I could do an entire podcast on JoJo. I'm not doing it.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, I will leave it at Jesus is a stand user. He is an anime MacGuffin man. So because there's pieces of him floating around, they can use those to travel through time, and that's how they get to the different parts of the series. Okay. So like you're having part 6 people interact with part 2 people, that vice versa. That kind of thing.
Joseph could meet Jolene. Wow.
Joseph does meet Jolene.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like little things like that where it's like fan interactions, right? Like that's headcanon. But this game is also apparently canon to the story. But it's a whole apparently it's canon to the story.
I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised at all. It's JoJo, whatever. But things like that, you know what I mean? Like you can get your fan interaction. You can have Revice meet Ichigo. You could have Amazons meet Omega. You know what I mean? You can have those fan interactions, and you could totally make some kind of like nonsense MacGuffin, like a dark decade. I think
we had it, bro. Before. Geo, Oma.
Exactly.
Oma could just be
bored.
Oma
could just be fucking around with the timeline because he wants to.
He could just be bored and just be like, all right, this is gonna be fun.
Let's have some fun with some pawn pieces. Like that's literally what you have the excuse for that, and then like either that or like you get dark decade, he's just jumping around.
Bro, how dope would that be if we make Oma like the Orochi of the like where he just is like, yup, have fun, and then the game you have your final fight against Omagio, you go all out, and then at the end he's just like, all right, I'm bored, I'm going home, and that's how it ends.
That's how it is. Yeah, no,
you don't beat him,
and then
you can't beat him.
Yeah, you would have like just like in the show, eventually what's his face would get his Oma form, and like they would just kind of fight, and it's like, okay, well. I got what I wanted, I guess. It's cool.
That was fun.
Like he gets knocked down and then he just like lurches up kind of thing. And he's just like, yeah, that was cool. All right, see you guys later.
I think that perhaps we might be creating an Oma that doesn't exist, but I'm going with it.
Who gives a shit? It's a video game.
That's what I mean.
It's time shenanigans. You can literally reset it 2 seconds later.
I kind of like this idea where the Oma character is the end all be all, but because they mishandled it, we're just at a phase where we're like, it's hard to accept, but I could accept if they did it right. You know what I mean? Like they did enough to make me believe it, but not buy into it.
Oma is the best thing, hands down, that they did with that series. That is the coolest idea of like, I've always liked, I mean, the soundtrack's pretty good too. I will give Zio that. The soundtrack is pretty great. But the Oma Zio, this idea of like your main rider and it being the main bad guy as well, and not like a tongue-in-cheek like, oh, isn't he look at Decade just kind of being a dick because he's a dick.
Like, watch out, bro, this is happening too. This is gonna happen
potentially happen. Let me rephrase that. It's the involuntary dickitude of the main character. Like this is your future dickitude. You like that?
That's a great one. Let's break that one down. Dickitude.
Yeah, all right. We're adding that to the Tokudon glossary. Like this is, if you're not careful, this is what's going to happen. And you even have people that came back to stop your ass because it's that much of a problem.
How would you change Gates?
How would I change Gates? I wouldn't change much, honestly.
Really?
I would just make him emote more. That's all I would do. Yeah. Make him not like a slice of cardboard, but like his story wise, I like it.
You're in agreement that they built up Oma almost enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they could have had a little bit more interaction between Oma and, not Oma Zio. I don't even remember the dude's name. What's his name? What's Zio's name? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Sogo, yeah. I think we could have a few more interactions, even though, like, when we do, I think it's the way they put them. I feel like when we did have those interactions, they were kind of shoehorned into what was going on.
Right.
Personally. But I'm also very biased to the show because I clearly don't like Zio very much.
Well, nobody does. But the point is that
it had so many good things, and then it could have been a great anniversary season, and they flubbed it up real bad.
Yeah, they really did.
A video game where you have Oma Zio as the bad guy dealing with Revice and Reiwa and all this kind of stuff could be a fun way to fix that.
I want to say that it could be. I would make an Oma Geo game then.
Just make an Oma Geo game. That'd be cool.
Just where you have to accumulate his powers again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a Geo game where
it's a Metroidvania where he has to pick up his powers like Samus.
Just like that, bro. Why not, man?
Cool.
Why not?
I'd be down for that. That'd be cool. That'd be a fun little like indie Flash game kind of thing. Not Flash, but they don't really do that anymore. But like an indie Unity game, like an indie Kamen Rider game. Just be Zeo picking up the armors until he becomes Oma Zeo.
I would. That's what I would
down for that. That'd be cool. But yeah, no, I'm here for this like JoJo time skip Oma Zeo fuckery so that Revice can meet Ichigo and all that kind of nonsense.
So in the generations, we're gonna get the century, so we're probably gonna get a taste of what we're kicking here. So,
yeah, you could even do like whatever Century's nonsense is, however he came back and George with his tablet and all that nonsense. So there's stuff here, Toei. Please hire me to just pitch ideas to people.
That's it.
I'll team up with David. You guys know David. I'll just team up with him. He can translate, and I'll just pitch these wild ass ideas that I guarantee will make you money. Damn it!
Yeah, just watch our show.
Watch our show.
Watch our show too. You got plenty of ideas. You steal them enough from us.
Yeah, just shill the show. Just shill the show, Toei. That's all you got to do. I'm just kidding. Do what you got to do. But yeah, no. Is there? So if you could have, let me kind of cherry on top of this whole discussion with this. If you could adapt it, either taking something and creating a tokusatsu show, or adapting your own tokusatsu into anything, what would it be? Actually, let's do both. So if you could take anything that maybe not be tokusatsu themed, may or may not be, maybe just an anime of some kind. Let's narrow it down to like an anime, right? Or because like I don't know, a Devil May Cry Toku would be kind of sick.
You know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going with it.
If you could take an anime and make it a toku, what would you do?
An anime
into a toku show.
An anime. Bleach. Bleach is already almost at the cusp of it.
It technically had a toku movie.
Your Shikai could be a driver, right? Okay, how do we do this?
You're going like a hard adapted into
How do I do this?
I was thinking you just have a tokusatsu movie of like, oh yeah, no, it's live action. Here you go. But you're going like, how do we make Bleach a Kamen Rider?
How do we make Kamen Rider Ichi? How do we make Kamen Rider Mugetsu? That would
Mugetsu. That'd be kind of cool.
Rider Mugetsu.
It has to have the hair. Like what's his face? It has to have
like Senki, like the Senki final form. Yeah. Oh,
it has to have the black flowing hair.
Have the black flowing hair. The driver has to be kind of like the Boken driver with the sword driver with with that. So you pull it, but then it's got a moon shape on it. You got the moon that lights up when you do the final form. You have your little lackey, right? When you do the henshin form, it's actually a small little Zangetsu that pops out, and then the Zangetsu throws the moon on top of you,
just like Revi does, or Vice.
Just like Vice, he just throws the moon on top of you, and then boom, there's your Kamen.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
But no, I mean honestly, like to think of something, I couldn't think of an anime, but I do see a new adaptation of Legend of Dragoon.
That'd be sick. That'd be a sick Toku.
To Toku that, bro.
Live action Dragoon. I think it would lend nicely. God. Like, just imagine if Game of Thrones, the good part of Game of Thrones, had henshins.
So the first season.
The first, like, 3 or 4 seasons had henshins. That's essentially what we're looking at.
Jon Snow would henshin into, like, this wolf Senki type thing. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine?
He henshins into Meru, a small anime girl with a giant hammer. He henshins into Meru.
That's it. That's Kit for you. He's just a giant, and he has to have the bralette and everything.
Yeah, he has to have the little skimpy dragoon armor, and he has to have the hammer. And then, but he still has. I mean, he's got the hair already. It's fine. It turns blue for whatever reason.
But I mean, so you take that theme, that feel, and you plop in the Legend of Dragoon storyline, and you have Lavitz. Bro, come on.
Lavitz, I feel like would be an easy character to convey on screen because he's just kind of like grizzled military man. You get it
with Saber. So you think of Game of Thrones fusion dance with Kamen Rider Saber show. That's what I would think Legend of Dragoon would be.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, pretty much. Like I think Genbu has just like big Lavitz energy. Personally,
Yeah.
like they could take the same actor, and I'd be like, damn, that's Lavitz. All right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
like he's got some Lavitz
Ogami.
energy to him. Ogami,
Ogami's the Lavitz of
yeah,
Saber.
like right, like he's just kind of like a big bumbling, like yeah.
He waved enough death flags for it, so why not, man?
Yeah, like that's fine. That would be sick.
Me.
I'd like that.
That would be me.
I like that. I just want to see more large mecha things adapted to a live action. And I don't mean pre-existing things. Like I think a live action Evangelion is the dumbest idea ever, personally. And I think Cowboy Bebop is an example why. So
all right, so
did I tell you I watched the first episode?
I did too. I didn't get the full way through because I can't.
Because I finished the first episode.
Okay, so because we were discussing this in our group.
Yeah,
and
which is technically Toku.
Divide.
Like this
is
definitely a Toku type show. Like this is very special effects heavy. This is very practical effects heavy. It's definitely a Toku style show. So I want to preface that with this. It's not a rant, okay?
We're not tangential yet, but
we're getting
there. But again, my critiques on the show is that it's miscast. But if you forego the miscast, it works on its own as its adaptation. As an adaptation and a separate show with the complete solid wall of division, it's acceptable on its own. And that's about as far as I'm going to give it. Because it's like the Resident Evil movies, dude.
Apparently the new one is pretty much the same level as the older ones, but
slightly better. I heard that too.
But slightly better. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, slightly more accurate in terms of there's more characters in it. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, legit. So if you finished it, does the episode imply that it's a total bastardization then? Because it starts similarly.
It's not a bastardization. It's a weird recut for the sake of having hour-long episodes. So it's the same basic plots. Like you still have what's his face and his girlfriend. Like you still have that plot line, and it essentially follows the first episode. So I want to go back and watch the anime. I've only seen the first couple episodes of the anime. It was one of those things where it was like, I watched it, I listened to the soundtrack, I know the ending, I've seen the last part, the fight. Yeah. And then it was one of those things where like, it was one of those, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like, I get it, everyone loves it, it's cool, the soundtrack is amazing, I will not argue that I will not die on that hill. That soundtrack's fucking amazing. But it was one of those things I just never went back to. That show actually made me want to play harmonica for a little bit. I bought a harmonica and shit. Like, that show, I've never even seen the full show, and I was like, oh, holy shit, I need a harmonica. So it's one of those things where I was like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I do want to watch it now, though, because Beth had slight interest, but I'm going to see if she wants to sit down and watch the show with me.
Bro, listen, Alex was right when he first hopped up on it, when it came out on Toonami, bro. Like, he's like, oh, because Alex has the fascination with the spacey stuff, and I need the ground, I need gravity. Yep. But the spacey stuff has been his bag.
It's fine.
But I legit, that Cowboy Bebop got me to rewatch Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
And now Outlaw Star is like amazing.
That's the shit.
So yeah, so like Cowboy Bebop is iconic. Mm-hmm. So I understand the frustration that people had because this is a chance for Western exposure, but it's so misrepresented that it's offensive. So
and again, I love John Cho. I think he's great. Is it John Cho? Yeah, John Cho.
John Cho.
Stephen Cho is the Chow in soccer.
Stephen Chow.
I love John Cho. He's super funny in Harold and Kumar. Like, he's always been a good actor. He's not just like a bumbling comedy kind of dude, but like he's always been a great actor. Something about this show has this air of like cosplay reenacting the episodes. Yes. And I don't and it's not that it's not accurate. It's just there's no like, I feel like they tried too hard to be the characters than adapting the characters to kind of make it their own a little bit to make it feel more natural. You know what I mean? Right. That's kind of the feel I got from it. And it's weird. And then I don't know if you saw the clip where Ed shows up.
No. Well, I saw a screen of it and the buck
Okay.
teeth. And all
Yeah,
that,
no, the actual clip is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So do they? Because my worry for Ed, and verify this for me, my worry for Ed is we've said it before, that Japanese crazy
Mhm.
is its own realm
Yeah.
that does not translate to American crazy.
Well, the problem is you have a hyperactive child, because Ed is an actual child, right? In the original show. You have a 20-something playing a hyperactive child.
Oh, they aged her up?
No, I don't think so. They just have a 20-something playing a child. So it's weird.
Yeah, they have
it's
John Cho
weird.
playing 20-year-old. So yeah. I get it.
That I can get a little more though, because Spike is kind of like an old soul type character. You know what I mean? So like I can buy
character, and a good actor could do that.
I know,
you don't need an actual old guy. You know,
that's what I mean by like it's kind of like they tried to be the character, not adapt to the character. Like John Cho didn't try to. I feel like John Cho didn't really make it like his own. But it's also kind of the problem when you have something so monolithic like Cowboy Bebop. If you do try to make it your own, now you're running into, well, this isn't my Cowboy Bebop. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So
but like, okay,
I
so
will give it though.
Cast,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who they cast for Jet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the guy went the extra mile to look and sound the part.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just cast somebody who actually looks like him at that point? If you have a guy who's going to go the extra mile to look and sound the part,
that was actually what I was about to get into. Actually, the dynamic between those two actors though is great. I love when those two are on the screen together and doing their little banter back and forth. I think it's great, and I think that's why they made the choice. The chemistry is amazing, and I think that's why they chose those two.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I could get behind that if you don't have that right, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so like that's the whole point, right? Like their whole shtick. But the person who plays Faye, I don't know if it's how the director tackled Faye and how Faye is written, or if it's the actor.
The whole time the actress and the director were the ones bastardizing everything. Like that actress apparently was so against a lot of and the hypocrisy between her personal life and this actor representation and this representation of Faye is just so detracting from everything. You know what I mean? Like it's like I can't even enjoy the show because of how shitty of a person that she's made this character. You know what I mean? Like you've completely changed it.
Like Faye always had that kind of like, asshole, whatever, foul mouthy kind of attitude, but like she was more rounded. I feel like they just steered into that super hard, and it's like, okay, but like, why are you still yelling? Like, why are you yelling? Like, it's that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, it's that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you yelling? So like, it's not, and this is why I don't want to bring it back to my original point. Like, this is why I don't think something like Evangelion is going to be a good live action adaptation. It's just not. You're never going to get, like, it's one of those things where you have a perfect storm of this dude was depressed as hell. This dude also had no money to make this show. And it's the ways they got around those things are why it translated and is amazing and is so iconic and why they, he never wanted to make merchandise, but there's literally like Evangelion razors and shit.
Yeah.
So
you can't get away from it.
You literally can't get away from it. But like, and it's actually really funny because that's the whole point of the series was to like be a parody of that stuff. But like, you're never going to get the same energy of Shinji and Asuka in a live action setting. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to find two kids that are 15 that are going to have that same kind of energy. You're not going to find two adults playing 15-year-olds that are going to have that same kind of energy. Like, it's just not. I don't think Shinji is, and this is kind of the point of the show as well, Shinji is not an attractive enough character, personality-wise, to hold a live action.
I understand that. Okay.
Like, that's kind of his point. Like, he's supposed to be the id. He's supposed to be the depression that Anna was going through. But, like, I don't think that's going to be a marketable main character for people when it comes to live action.
Fair enough. Because, I mean, without pandering and strictly making it about pandering, you're right.
Yep.
Because it could easily be, woe is me, and then life sucks. And
that's kind of Shinji's character, but from like,
but that'll be what they harp on. You know what I mean? Like one of those shows where it's like that's all it is.
Yeah, and I think that will be just lost because obviously when they do that kind of thing, they're going to try and make it more accessible to a wider audience, a more Western audience, a larger demographic in general. And I think making the main character a genuinely manically depressed person is not going to be how they market this. And I think they're going to do something similar when it does come out. Because I mean, when it does come out, I'll believe it because they've been talking about this shit for 20 goddamn years at this point.
That's true too.
So like, and then the way they did Cowboy Bebop's marketing was we just saw some stills. We saw like the opening. We didn't see a lot of the actual show, and it kind of just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like 6 months ago, we pretty much got the announcement, and then it was just out. So,
I remember I saw the trailer, whatever trailer they released a little while ago, I did see, and the way it was shot interested me because it was very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like that promo trailer, I think it was really good.
Yeah.
And going into the first episode, I'm like, wow, okay, if it's stylized to that extreme, I could probably watch it. And to be fair, it's not bad, but it is not what I saw. So I mean, but it's not horrible. So in terms of its stylization, might be enough for me to watch it completely.
You got to do
Bleach,
something.
Remember the Bleach movie that's on Netflix?
You mean Kamen Rider Bleach? Yeah.
Kamen
Rider Forza Bleach, I should say.
Forza, yeah.
The Forza movie.
because you put Forza in it, like,
and all of his friends.
My whole point is that you have you have the idea, you just don't do it right.
Yeah.
You know? And they totally killed Byakuya. Oh my god.
I don't even remember that movie, honestly. I think I blocked it out. I don't remember any of it.
Look what they did to my boy.
It's fine. They ruined him himself in the comic. So remember that time he screamed like a bitch?
Remember that time that was not going to happen in the anime adaptation? Watch.
Oh, it's going to happen. Did you see the one shot for Bleach, by the way? The one shot that's not a one shot? The 10 years later thing?
The Regrets from Hell? Yeah, oh my god. I'm excited. That's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
The one shot that was like, hey, this is not a one shot.
Where Kubo was like, well, I don't have anything else going on.
Yeah.
Why don't I fix Bleach?
Yeah. He pulled a Kishimoto and was like, I could do something else, or I could just go back to Naruto.
Yeah. Burn the Witch is fun. Burn the Witch is okay. I do like Burn the Witch.
Is that the thing he did afterward?
Bleach is where the money's at. Yeah, I mean, Burn the Witch is built in the same world, bro. It's the same world.
Oh, I never saw it or know anything about it. I've never even heard of it, literally, until the second. So
I gave him all his best ideas. He's fine. He'll be all right.
Gotcha.
He's gonna eat fine the next year. So you'll see. My ideas, perfect.
I think also part of the issue is like, speaking back to adaptations and things, it's very hard for the acting styles, if you're not used to voice acting, for like a screen actor to go to voice acting. So if they did like an anime adaptation of something, an actor may not necessarily be as comfortable doing voice acting as opposed to screen acting, and vice versa. You know what I mean? If you're typically a voice actor,
like you get this guy. My goodness, I'm having a blank here. Martin Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, Mass Effect.
Yeah,
when he played the villain, I forget the villain's name.
The Elusive Man.
The Elusive Man. Thank you. That's why I couldn't remember his name. Anyway, so when you play Mass Effect and you hear him speaking, that's the example of a good actor as a good voice actor too. Yeah. He's saying the most ridiculous shit that he has no idea what he's talking about, but he delivers it with conviction.
Yeah,
you know.
And not every actor is on either that skill level or just comfortability to do it that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always gonna pan out as well. So I think that's why it's something like, even though they've both done voice acting, like the Supernatural anime was just stilted and weird, even though it was like them. But I mean, Dean's done a bunch of voice acting. Like, he was in Under the Red Hood. Like, he plays Red Hood.
Batman. He's Batman now.
Is he Batman now?
In the long Halloween.
Oh, I have not kept up with any of those.
Finally Batman, and it was dope.
It was
dope.
Nice. I mean, he's going to be Soldier Boy in the new whatchamacallit, boys.
There's a hint of Dean in there because it's inescapable for him, but it's that raspiness when he hits those little voices.
So it's like talking. Demon Dean.
Yeah, Demon.
Demon Dean. Got it.
Summer.
I miss Supernatural.
I just
don't know. That was kind of my. If there was one thing I would adapt, it would just be something Mecha related and not Ifan Kellian.
No, a good Gundam would be dope. good Gundam.
A good Gundam, or like just something absolutely absurd and ridiculous, like any of the Brave series, like Gao Gaigar, anything like that.
Oh god.
Like, could you imagine a live action Gao Gaigar? Like, you'd have to get someone who just is comfortable screaming for days at a time.
You know what will work here? That will work here. Exo Squad.
Exo Squad would be sick.
If you Americanize Exo Squad, because
or Robotech.
Or Robotech, you don't want to bastardize Robotech though. Right. Robotech is good because it's Robotech.
Yeah, because Rick Hunter is Rick Hunter.
Rick Hunter is, yeah. But I mean, you could, Exo Squad is malleable. The idea is the idea.
No one but us knows what Exo Squad even is, so that's fine.
So Exo Squad, I'm not going to get into it. Exo Squad was a dope show back in the high end of the bad 90s cartoon era. But I'm telling you, you take that idea.
They were trying to capitalize on like the G.I. Joe fads and all that kind of stuff.
It's G.I. Joe with suits. Yep. It's a henshin G.I. Joe.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all it is.
So
right around the time of what was the Mummies Alive?
Mummies Alive.
With that henshin sequence, that was sick.
Yeah. Now wait, who was the Boulder one? Who was the big brolic guy?
I don't remember
the dumb
any
one.
of their names.
Anyway, he had the dope form. He had the helmet with the ram. He was just all about strength. Yeah. Anyway, it's the kind of ideas where adapting malleable ones would be dope. I could see an Exo Squad mixed in with a G.I. Joe plot easily.
Yeah. There's definitely stuff there. I think they just have to think about which one would do it and not just do it for like money reasons. You know what I mean?
Not pander. Yeah, not pander. Just do the damn show and do it right, because that's what's gonna make you money. Yeah. Breaking Bad didn't worry about teachers' wages. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they just made it an example as to why he did what he had to do. Yeah. They didn't be like, oh, poor teachers. Fuck that. Just give me the damn good show.
And like I think something, speaking of malleability, you could even do it like Amazon's. I think is a great example. They took a series that, while it may be more famous to the older audience, a lot of us didn't know anything about Amazon before this, or even really watch Amazon. And then they brought it back to the limelight. Same thing with Black Sun. Like, we're getting to a point where a lot of people don't know what Kamen Rider Black is. Like, they didn't really grow up with it. So
yeah, because it's been 20 plus years.
Yeah, a lot of people have only gotten into Kamen Rider that I've spoken to recently that have only gotten into Kamen Rider in the last 5-10 years or so. So like they may not even know, they may know of it. They never watched it. They never had that experience of like even Masked Rider. You know what I mean? Like they may not even know. So having something like Black Sun is a great way to bring that stuff back. Imagine like I'm actually looking at a story right now. Ichigo's kid is playing Century. Like,
yes. Is he playing Century? I thought he's playing Ichigo.
Is he playing Ichigo?
He's playing Ichigo. Yeah, he's playing Ichigo in the past. He's playing the era accurate Ichigo.
Okay. Yeah, he's playing he's playing young Fujioka.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's dope. That's even better, man.
So that's cool. That's pretty sick. That's a cool way to do that. And then like, I mean, I'm sure his knees are about to explode, so that makes sense. Like, I don't know how this dude is still walking around, honestly.
Well, it's all like he has like the middle brackets underneath his pants, so you don't even see it. He's walking around like Stone Cold.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. But stuff like that, like you could easily do that. I think we're getting to a point where like we could see a Kuga adaptation. Like Kuga's now 21 years old.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, we could see a gritty Kuga reboot soon. We could see. I would love for them to redo Shin. Honestly, I would love for them to redo J and Zeto. I would love for them to redo that trilogy.
Well, what we're gonna do with ours is we're gonna show how to do tribute writers. So why don't we make a tertiary writer in our little thing who's a tribute writer?
Just make him Shin.
Just make him Shin, bro.
He's just Shin's our tertiary.
Shin Gill's Amazon type of.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yo. He's just genetically a writer. I love it.
That's not bad.
That's the one. That's it.
He'll be one of the converted enemies. He'll be the Shin Gill's Amazon.
Fucking love it. I'm here for it. Yeah. I am here for it. I was gonna see any news that came up. We did, just because I think it's been fun to kind of bookend it with some news, but really, there's not a lot that's happened so far.
I guess that's okay.
For last week, it's really just they announced, Fujioka's son is playing Ichigo. I think we talked about the Avatar Sentai Don Brothers last week.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked
that's
about
gonna
that.
Be okay.
It's gonna,
unless the CG characters are totally shit, I hope it'll be alright.
We'll see. Looks like they're doing some new Megazord model kits, but other than that, not a whole lot happened this week in terms of news. So I think that's a good place to leave it when it comes to adaptations, because I don't have anything else to say unless you got any more points to bring
That's
up.
fine. That's fine. Just well, we'll get there when we get there,
See.
and we're gonna make our own rider, and it's gonna be even better.
And then I'm just gonna maybe watch this.
We are going to set up a day to live stream that. You cannot watch that without doing the live stream.
I have
you
so
are
much
barred.
time today.
All right, I'll tell you. No. Set it up today.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. You just do what you get, but you cannot.
I may watch it. I may literally sign
that.
off here and go watch it, or I'll play Dark Souls 3 some more. So
go watch it, and then we'll do an emergency cast tonight when you can't get it out of your head.
This will definitely be our next episode. Though we'll have to find a copy so you can rewatch it too, and we'll make Guyver Dark Hero our next episode.
I think I can find it. I think I might have it. No, I don't. No, I think I had.
I'm sure we can find a copy.
I'm remembering a VHS that I had, bro. That's what I'm remembering. Yeah.
Might have to hit a big guy and be like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. I'm going to say that is about it for today. This has been the Tokudon Podcast. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Kind of a smorgasbord, last-minute planned episode. We didn't know we were going to do, so it was fun. We talked about random shit like we always do.
That's what we do. Tangent center. So
kind of our thing.
Thanks for stopping in, and I'm done talking.
Yeah, my throat is exploding.
I'm 6. This was Carl. This was Tokudon. Hit us up on our podcast. Listen to us on all the casty sites. Check us out on YouTube. You can hear us. You can email us at 6echo.se@gmail.com or tokudon@gmail.com.
Tokudoncast@gmail.com.
Tokudoncast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Sorry. Send us some of your ideas that you would like us to talk about. We definitely are still looking for some OC writers to throw into that little project we have going on. Let us know, some of your stuff. Even come up on the show. We'll have you come in as a guest. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah, I nailed it. All right. See you guys.
Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.